About a motherfucking thing. Nah, don't worry about it.
This is the Shady Records Roundtable Special. We are celebrating 15 years of Eminem's
Intimacy.
Shady Records.
With Reef.
Yes.
Cut it out, man. Stop.
And also the release of the Shady XV project in stores November 24th.
Clap
Yeah.
for 'em, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
And we are also celebrating 10
good.
years 10 years of Shade 45
Hey.
here on Sirius XM. And I am joined by, first up, he's the president of Shady Records, the CEO of Goliath Artists. He's an attorney, an artist manager, a label exec, a Michigan State alumni. Please welcome Mr. Paul Rosenberg.
That was good.
And you happen to be wearing a Spartans, zip up. So I,
Yes, it's a hoodie actually.
Yes.
But zip up is, I don't know what that is, but
the zipper upper.
it's a hoodie with a zipper on it.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great introduction. I'm glad to be here on my station with my partners, whose station it is, with talking about our record label that we made together as partners.
Yo, that intro was much, much more than needed.
Well, next.
Oh, wait for
I'm
yours,
just saying.
buddy.
Yeah, let's. Yo, I
Here we go. Come
Let me get a
on.
fucking drum roll or something.
I'm
This
happy to
better
welcome.
be good.
I'm happy to welcome Shady Records CEO, multi-platinum selling artist, MC extraordinaire, global superstar, and Dallas Cowboys fan, ladies and gentlemen, Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem.
Oh.
Incredible. Incredible. Wait. Hold on.
Oh.
Incredible basketball player. Where's that?
Sweetness.
Did you say it? There might have been so much applause at the end of that part.
It may have got lost in
He's got
the
a
applause.
basketball nickname.
Really? What is it?
Sweetness.
Hey,
That's nice.
Yeah, well, there's other voices in here, so we
Yes.
should introduce because
we have
that was funny.
the human Bluetooth, America's favorite bootlegger,
And moisturizer.
and the moisturizer, DJ Who Kid.
Yeah.
I'm in here.
We have super producer, super MC, and he's now very slim. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Porter. Would you like some water or a non-carb snack?
Would you like some puffed air?
Mr. Porter, would you like a microphone, or you just want to sit in the background and just make comments?
Would you like a water juice?
That's cool too.
Listen, right now I'm playing the Paul.
Mr. Porter, it would be very imperative
Yes.
and actually really cool if every time I said something, maybe you just went, woo!
That's what I'm doing today.
All right, so gentlemen, welcome. First of all, thank you for coming. This is a very important event. 15 years.
Yep.
15 years old.
Yep.
You're like a raging adolescent.
Not in this game. It's like being a something else. But
A lot has transpired. Labels have come, labels have gone. The music business is obviously radically transformed, and Shady still stands strong. How does that make you both feel?
well, Marshall.
I feel pretty good about that.
That's supposed to be you.
That's my cue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how can it not feel good? It feels great. I mean, I think that
Hey, yo.
to start. I mean, we started in 1999 with our deal with Interscope, who have been our partners ever since in Shady Records, and it was just really an exciting idea. And I don't want to sound corny, but it was a dream. Like, we both, let's have a record label. Like, it would be amazing. I mean, we came up looking at the same stuff the same way, and sort of being fans of the same types of artists and labels, and thought maybe we could do something like people prior to us had done in our own way.
Yeah, I wasn't actually. I mean, when when Paul came to me with the idea, it was more like I was more or less trying to use it as a vehicle, because I wasn't sure if it could actually work or not. So I was using it more as a vehicle to try to put my group on. So D12, it was more like this could be what could help us get them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when we found out it could actually work, that's when it was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. This could actually work.
Because it's not the safe route for somebody, you were already coming off of multi-platinum success, touring, this, that.
Yeah.
To
none of it's been the safe route, but yeah, you're right. And as a matter of fact, there were some people who were like, well, why are you distracting him from his own music? And he should be focused on his own career. What are you doing? You're going to get him off track. And I'm like, well, I don't think you know what he's capable of. I don't think you know what I'm capable of. And we believe in this and we're going to do it.
Absolutely. And here we are, 15 years later, a lot of success stories under your belt, broken new artists, broken superstars, won Oscars, you know?
Just one Oscar.
Oh, Oscar. Okay.
One Oscar.
Oscar. And now we're at the point where you're kind of, you know, celebrating your success. You have the Shady XV project.
Yeah, Shady 15. It is XV, but those are Roman numerals, so it's 15. But it just looks cooler.
It's also more like to me, it's more like a thank you to the fans and, you know what I'm saying, everybody who's supported us from day one. You know, it's kind of a thank you to those people because, you know, obviously without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing right now. So
we wouldn't be here rocking. Woo!
Whoa! Whoa. My voice is kind of deep. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you,
guys.
kid.
Whoa.
That was good. Thank you.
all right.
So you mentioned just a second ago how initially you were looking at it as, okay, this is a chance to put my boys on, who you had been, you know, working hard with for years and years, kind of toiling away before kind of hitting it big. And this was your chance to, you know, give them the shot.
It was an opportunity for us all to, you know, for it to happen.
And they were the first signing, obviously.
Yeah, they were the first signing. And then, you know, from there, when we saw a little bit of success with that, once we saw that, we were like, oh,
let's do it again.
This could actually work, you know?
Well, in the spirit of talking about D12 and Devil's Night, the album, which came out June 5th, 2001, I want to just quickly go into memory lane a little bit, and we're going to play Purple Pills, which is featured on the Shady 15, or XV for those that don't know, project. On Shade 45, the Shady Records Roundtable, Shady Records Roundtable.
Roundtable. Is it taper?
Shady Records Roundtable special here on Shade 45.
Shady Records Sound Rabel.
Roundtable special featuring Eminem and Paul Rosenberg.
Yo,
Another motherfucking exclusive.
I kissed a boy like dick. Taste of his hairy fat dick.
Why? Why?
That's the remix.
We're back.
Don't do drugs, people.
The Shady Records Roundtable special. You know, as we go through the show, we're going to kind of go into the vaults a little bit. We've got some very special moments.
Go into some more of that.
obscurity.
Stuff that you've done for
Moments
Shade
we'd
45.
like to forget on Shade 45.
You know, in celebrating 15 years of your label and 10 years of your radio station. So that
I don't know if it's celebrating. It's more like mourning.
But there's more. There's more. Don't you worry.
He's still alive.
Now let's move forward just quickly to the next release on Shady Records, which was obviously huge for both of your careers. It was the 8 Mile Project and the soundtrack.
Yep.
And just very quickly, there's no pressure here, obviously, but you're acting for the first time on film. You're putting together the score and the soundtrack together. What was it like going through all of that?
Well, the acting part was easy because I'm acting like I like you right now. So
Okay, that's good.
The natural.
yeah, no. It was.
You say no pressure. Now there's no pressure.
No, but at
But at that time, if we fucked that project up and that soundtrack up and that film up, it would not have been good, and it would have been a bad thing. So we again, we're taking risk, right, by exposing Marshall at that point of his career to something that, you know, had the potential to not work.
And really, the film has been on a lot on cable recently, and you know, as a hip hop fan, certainly I, and I'm sure everybody in this room appreciates the use of not just the soundtrack and the original music, but the songs that were included. Just the way the film opens with Shook Ones, like like no other movie in the fucking universe has done it like that. You know,
we picked the songs. We worked really hard to push them through. And you know, a lot of those records were coming up from the scene that Marshall came up in and Mr. Porter came up in, and the sort of hip hop shop battling. Like those were the records that everybody was rhyming on back then. So, you know, they would queue up records like Shook Ones or what was some of the other records? That Showbiz and AG record.
Yep. The Last Days, the Onyx record.
Yeah, Onyx record and the OC record, Time's Up.
Yep.
I mean, those were the records people would just go crazy rapping on. So we wanted to recreate that feeling. And, you know, obviously stuff that Marshall liked too.
And that we're not even touching on the actual original music that.
No, this was all the licenses.
Yeah. I mean, here we are 10 years later and battling in the MC battle scene and the leagues and everything are bigger than they've ever been. I mean, and to the point where, you know, you guys staged the Total Slaughter. Like, did you have any inkling kind of the effect of how that culture was going to be affected?
Yeah, no question. It brought it to a mainstream film going audience. And, you know, that was one of the goals of the movie was to show the scene he came up in, which happened to be, you know, a lot of freestyling and battling. So we wanted to show that to everybody. So
I think if anything, it just maybe helped it thrive more because it brought more attention to it. I don't think anybody, you know, like mainstream America kind of saw battling and was like, oh shit, we got to get on this. And then you see all these fucking garbage battles and it just, you know what I'm saying? Fucking shit's in a Mountain Dew commercial or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I don't think it did that in that regard. I think that it just helped propel the battling scene to make it even bigger and draw more attention to it. If it helped do that, I'm super proud of that because, you know, that's what I came up in and now it just feels like it's thriving more than ever. So
you're a very avid fan of the whole scene, so
absolutely.
That movie showed a lot of what it looked like from our eyes too. Like when I looked at that, that's what it looked like. For me, like it was definitely nostalgic anyway. Like you can talk about like how they would battle on corners in New York and we would hear those stories. That was our story. That was like the way that movie was, like that was just the Detroit side of it. I'm pretty sure it was other people that had their sides of it. So, but that brought a whole different, I think, a different feel to it too. Like it wasn't like saying like, oh, it popped off because of that movie, but it was definitely I think it was a monumental thing just for when we came up as kids. So I was, thank you.
It was a good building block,
giving
I
that a
think,
guy,
for
he's
that.
ahead
You know,
of my
there's many pieces to that, though. Like, we didn't just do something that was like, oh my God, we discovered something or some shit.
It just had never been documented and the drama of it had never been portrayed in such a way.
Yeah, because that shit is serious. To lose a battle is like you're losing your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I mean, this is how we're going to make it and do something with our lives. And if you lose, that there's that threat of that actually felt like it just got taken away from me because you beat me in this battle. And now everyone knows that. And now no one's going to talk about me anymore. No one cares about me. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm going to go eat some worms.
Season's over. You're out of the playoffs. Go home.
Take your cleats,
and
shoulder pads.
And you ain't going on YouTube and putting something out to make yourself hot again because it didn't exist. So you lose the battle, tough luck.
You're anonymous.
So how bad do you want it? And do you want to work hard enough at it to, you can't lose. You can't lose. You have to just keep going up. Otherwise, your buzz and your name and everything just goes down. So,
and certainly for you, you are a veteran of not only the Detroit battle scene, but the whole Rap Olympics experience, which essentially was the catalyst for you taking a giant step in your career, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, certainly that was one of the things I feel like that helped. Even 97 Scribble Jam, like just getting in a car and just going wherever I can be at to any type of opportunity I had to make a name for myself, I would just try to do whatever.
So I think we can't discuss 8 Mile without discussing Lose Yourself.
Why don't we play Lose Yourself?
Yeah, let's play Lose Yourself.
Come back and discuss Lose Yourself.
Let's do it.
Why don't we lose ourselves?
15 Roundtable Special featuring Eminem and Paul Rosenberg. Suck it, Marshall.
Nah, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Marshall, sit back and suck it.
Huh? Oh my God. Put your
Suck it at Marshall on Shade 45.
The funny part about this is...
The funny part about this is... What's funny about that? Is there something wrong with that? Like,
nothing has changed.
I was about to ask, do you guys miss those times?
Sucking
What do you
it?
mean?
Well, that too, maybe, but
Miss what times? This shit, that's an
It
ongoing
happened 2
joke. It's a
seconds.
running joke. It happens every fucking
kidding me?
day.
Right, it hasn't
No,
went away.
I'm not
So what are you
kidding
talking about?
It's no
Miss what?
expiration date, bro. It's not
Right.
milk.
There's nothing.
This is nothing new. It's an
real right here, bro.
ongoing
Unreal.
joke that will
60 years old,
never
80
go
years
away.
old. Suck it. Hey, suck it.
No, you suck it.
This might be a weird
Sit
question.
back and suck it.
This
Are
might-
you? Do you have a suck
Take
it
your,
question, who
take your
kid?
dentures out and suck it.
Who kid? Who kid? Do you have a suck it question?
I have a very sucky question. Who created the skit thing? Like whose idea was that?
Well, skits were popular back when M's first album on Aftermath, Interscope came out. Skits were still kind of popular, and we came up in the really obsessed and still are fascinated with those early '90s records that had skits like De La's probably the classic example, but a lot of people did it back then. So I think that was the inspiration, right?
Yeah, for sure. And the shit brings it brings personality to an album. That's the one thing I always felt like with artists when they do skits. It's like, okay, your songs are telling us who you are, and now you've got this skit that's kind of bringing me into that world. I want to be in that world. I want to know what if like De La Soul, whoever had a skit on their album, it made you feel like you knew them more, just because this is how they are, this is how they joke around and shit. This is how when they fuck around, this is what they do, and they got a similar sense of humor.
Yeah,
with me and my friends or whatever. Like and it was always, and it was cool. Interludes were cool because it would break shit up. It would break up, the songs and it would add this entertainment value that was, I don't know.
In character. It gave the record more character.
Yeah, for sure.
And created characters kind of recurring too.
Yep, that too.
It's kind of
We're going to get to that. But I want to bring us back full circle from, we were coming off Lose Yourself and, he's here.
Oh, no.
Hide your daughters or sons, I'm not sure.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Hide your kids. Somebody's touching me.
Mr. Porter.
This is
Stop. That's fucked up.
Ken Kniff, another character.
We're going to get to Ken.
Okay.
I want to get to 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Ken might get to you.
Oh, no. And he made his, debut on Shady Records via the 8 Mile soundtrack. But
he made his major label debut,
right?
Sort of with us. He first had a deal with Columbia. They put out How to Rob, and he recorded an album for them that they never put out. But they put out in Europe, they put out like an EP, the Power of a Dollar EP. So technically, it wasn't the first. And then after he wasn't with Columbia anymore, he released Guess Who's Back, which was the record that really got our attention.
And I want to talk about that because this was the superstar that you signed to the label.
No question.
And
before him, there was not one like him, and there never will be again.
Ever.
Nope.
Just kind of take us back a little bit, just in that period of time when he was on the radar and the decision process and how things kind of transpired in signing him and so forth, briefly, if you can.
Well, I remember at one point, I don't remember where we were. Maybe I told this story before, but we were somewhere doing a show or something, and I remember DJ Head, our old DJ, he had Life's on the Line. He had the Life's on the Line record and played it, and I think that was before everything happened with 50.
Yeah. That was isn't that from Power of a Dollar?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
that was the first
Columbia
record.
days.
I think that was the first record that I had heard
before
from.
How to Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you like that beat. You used to rap on that beat.
Which one? The Murder. Yeah, that one.
Life's on the Line.
Yeah. No, I thought you were talking about the other one. No, that was, I think, the first record, and I was like, that was the first one I remember hearing, and I was like, holy shit, this dude is fucking dangerous. And
little did you know.
Yeah, nah, he was like on some MC shit. Was like, yo, he's a fucking threat. Like, he's a lyrical threat. Like, and it was the way he was saying this shit, and he just made you believe it. Like Fifth, when he said a fucking like whatever. I mean, he's always been like that, but it was like something that I hadn't heard before. Like,
yeah,
yo, this dude, like he sounds like he's gonna fuck you up. He's talking like, and that's how, like, you know, shit, man. Like, rappers like like when NWA first came out, and you know, you had those groups. It was like, this is so crazy because like it would, you know, it was shit was said with such conviction that it was like,
it felt like Ice Cube was going to come out the radio and punch you in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say that about 50 too. It was like it's the same shit. It's like, it sounds like he believes in what he's saying right now. And the you know, it was the passion behind it, and it was the, you know, the way he said it and the lyrics and all that shit was like, yo, he's a threat.
Yeah. So then cut to time later, and you know, 50 was I think that Columbia dropped him. I don't know if it was before he got shot or after. What was it?
They dropped him after he got shot.
So he gets shot. Not bad enough, right? You're sitting in the hospital, but then your label fucking drops you.
Crazy.
So, you know, that's not an easy place to come back from. Mm-mm. But he hooked up with Shah, and he hooked up with Theo, his lawyer at the time. And Theo was one of my close associates and partners, and started feeding me the music. Like, yo, I know you know about 50, but you have to hear the new shit he's doing. And I'm like, new shit? I didn't even know he was going to be rapping anymore. Like, you know, the word had reverberated around the industry that this guy was, you know, pretty much a rap. So I was checking it out, and I was like, whoa, this is pretty crazy. I'm going to let Marshall hear it. Marshall we were still filming 8 Mile at the time. Mm-hmm. And he was filming the movie.
I was riding around bumping that shit more than anything I was recording myself.
Right. So you were filming the movie, you were recording the music for the movie, and finishing the finishing touches on your album, your solo album too, at the same time. The Eminem show.
Oh yeah.
So he you know, it was crazy. And once we finished filming the movie and Marshall had a second to focus on the music, that's when we got serious about it. We thought, hey, if Dre likes this, he'd be a perfect partner for this, since he has been through the craziness, since he does make the best beats in the world, since if he's feeling this, it would be a perfect sort of match.
Right.
But I think there was also something to be said about the same credibility factor that Dre gave to me.
Yeah.
We could use that with Fifth, because anybody who had their doubts about me signing him or anything like that, it was like, you know, anybody for anybody who didn't like me or was like, oh man, now, you know, what's going to happen with Fifth? Is it, you know, it was more of a stamp. Dre stamp could not hurt in any way you go. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With anything. So it was more about like, you know, making sure that we didn't fuck this up, and making sure that, you know, especially back then, anybody who hated me is just going to turn his music off, you know, like if it was just us, if it was just me, like that's how I think I was probably feeling at the time, was like, man, I don't want to fuck this up. I want to make sure that this shit works, because I want to make sure that I don't want him to not get a chance by certain people, whoever, by turning the radio off or not even buying it because, oh man, he's with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to make sure, like, we make this shit official. And Dre putting his stamp on it makes it even bigger for, you know, even more so than what I just said, bringing it to an even bigger audience, because now you got Dre's fans, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got like Dre has so many fucking fans. It was like, yo, between the two of us, man, let's try to, if we link up, this could be a crazy idea.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
And as the kind of as the recording process was going along, at what point were you guys like, whoa, this is gonna be a problem?
Immediately. He came out making records. I remember he took a trip out to Detroit. He took a trip out to LA. Everything that I heard was stop you in your tracks.
Wow.
Crazy.
He could not miss.
Which all made Get Rich. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
right?
Well, yeah, of course. We were fighting to see what wasn't going to make the album, because there were so many good records.
Yeah, they're in hindsight. I mean, every record, every song on that Get Rich or Die Trying is probably fucking incredible and top notch. And I think that was one. You know, in hindsight, it probably was too many songs, but there was nothing we could get rid of. Like I think I don't know if we kept everything, but I remember just thinking like, fuck, what can we get rid of?
There's like 20 records on there, even with the bonus cuts.
You can't even get rid of anything. And then it's like, what if you get that one song you do get rid of, that could have been somebody's favorite song? Because the shit that he was recording at that time was like fucking nothing I had heard like it at that point in time.
Right.
Like it was so new sounding and so fucking, you know, it was everything, man. It was dangerous. It was like I knew Fifth would get the respect from MCs and you know, just everybody. I don't know, man. it was crazy because it was like he was hitting all areas.
Yeah, he was hitting the club, he was hitting the street, he was hitting pop radio, he was hitting urban radio,
and he gave
was
Hook Kid a
covering
job.
all the bases.
Give me a job. I think the main
Mixtapes, they crushed the fucking mixtapes. Nobody's ever gonna do mixtapes like that again.
Yo, that was the end of it. Like after that, it was like when they was done, I was like, I didn't want to hear no more mixtapes after that.
How much? This guy made so much money off selling mixtapes. He pulled up one day in front of BT in a fucking Lamborghini. I am not making this up.
that was my Monday
Nobody ever did it like that with the mixtape thing, and nobody can ever do that ever again.
No, they killed it. It was over. Forget it. People were fiending for those things.
Yeah.
Fiending.
That's the thing, because there was a story with his music, and combined with M and Dre, that's like a no-brainer. It was 10 million off the back. Like,
I mean,
sales
of
was outta
course,
here.
but the records.
That's why you were bringing up. You couldn't even take a record out, because if you take a record out,
yeah,
you're
you can
messing up
have
the story.
all of those elements, but unless you have the right records and they got the fucking energy and excitement and danger that 50s records had, man,
I felt like all we need to do is get people to listen just once.
And that's it.
Listen once.
Well, they listened.
Just give us your attention for 2 seconds. Turn this record on, and you will not be able to turn it off.
Well, speaking of records that you can't turn off, from the Shady 15 album or project coming out November 24th. November 24th. Let's go into 50 Cent in the Club, produced by Dr. Dre.
This is the Shady 15 Roundtable Special featuring Eminem and Paul Rosenberg.
Obi Trice. Let's talk about Obi, what he meant to the label. Detroit born and bred, and had sold a couple million albums, and really was like a very important component of the label. Talk about that in the context of the history.
Yeah, so Obi was another chance to sign another artist from Detroit, which we always are excited about. If there's somebody coming out of Detroit that we think would fit what we're doing. So M's old DJ, my old DJ, and friend from college, DJ Head, was playing me Obi's first 12-inch, which was called The Well-Known Asshole. And they put it out independently on vinyl themselves on their label. And I thought he was crazy. I thought he was a perfect fit for us. And at the same time, Bizarre from D12 was a big fan of Obi's too, and brought it to Marshall like, yo, you got to check this kid out, Obi. And, his name was crazy and just stuck with you the first time you heard it. And so we were like, we got to find this kid and, sit down with him and see what he wants to do.
Yo, I think Obi rapped from me.
Yeah, I think Bizarre may have brought him by to rap for him.
I think he brought him by the studio to rap from me, and just hearing him rap a cappella was like, oh shit. And it was something about content, skill, and there was something about Obi's delivery that was, his voice was so strong. It was like, it would fucking cut you. So it was like, it was a combination of that, and then Obi being, he
was a new cat but didn't sound like a new cat. Mm-hmm. It was too seasoned. Yeah,
super seasoned and
confident,
likable. Kind of
a storyteller too.
Great storyteller, kind of a character. It was like whenever he come around, it's like Obi. It was like he was just fun to be around. And just a good dude. And it was like it was fun to work with him because it was like it was just so he was quick in the studio. Like, he didn't fuck around. He meant business. It was, was just,
and a character, just funny and up for whatever. Just, happy to be down and have the opportunity. And, we loved working with him. And that first album is incredible. You go back and listen to Cheers now.
Oh man.
Yeah, the beats.
That album, I don't care what anybody says. That was one of the best albums we ever put out and still stands up.
Well, let's go to one of my personal favorites off that album, which is also one of the songs on Shady 15, The Setup, featuring Nate Dogg. Like, it was just ridiculous. The Dre beat, just everything, just
that's a classic Dre beat in my book.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Dre had a couple classics on that album for real.
Let's get into it. The Shady Records Roundtable.
R.I.P. Nate Dogg.
R.I.P. Nate Dogg. Absolutely.
and Paul Rosenberg on the Shady 15 Roundtable Special.
I'm a man eater. Oh, here I come. My Johnny boy, I'll fill you up. Oh, here you come. I'm a man beater.
Shade 45.
Oh, we are back.
Ken Kniff, man, he's crazy.
Shouts to Ken.
Shout to Ken Kniff, man. Where did he go? He left.
Went to the men's bathroom.
Welcome back to the Shady Records Roundtable Special, celebrating 15 years of Shady Records and the release of Shady XV, Shady 15 on November 24th, and also celebrating 10 years of Shade 45. Now, I want to just fast forward real quick to around 2004, where everything is popping. And once again, you're making platinum albums for yourself. The artists, everything is going incredibly, and you guys do kind of like the unthinkable again, stepping out into a business venture that I don't think really had been done before, which is a radio station branded to you.
We have a radio station?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Where is it
Yo,
at?
we got a radio station.
Where's it at?
High five.
Yeah. Where is it? Let's see it.
That's right.
Come on, prove it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's kind of like the record company thing, but it's sort of, it's a little different because it wasn't what we had set out to do necessarily. Not saying that, we don't love it and want to continue for as long as we can, but the opportunity came. The opportunity came to us.
Ken, he's back.
So I think some of the people who are still executives here had a good relationship with Jimmy Iovine, former CEO. It sounds weird saying former CEO of Interscope. And they came to Jimmy and them were talking, and Jimmy said, we want to do, an Interscope record label. We don't have the restrictions that commercial radio has because people are paying, so we can play our own records. Let's do Interscope radio. And they were like, look, we don't know that the brand is what people want as much as the music, but you do have an artist on your label that we think has the brand and the music, and we'd love to do a channel with Eminem. So they came to me, and I was like, huh? You want to do a radio, like our own radio station? And it was just Sirius at the time. They hadn't joined up with XM yet, so there was competition. And I think that, there was other artists doing other stuff over on XM, and they
were like, no, we're serious.
Exactly. Yes.
It was so right there, man. Sometimes you just got to go for it.
It's all about timing, man.
Yeah. I was waiting for the break in the conversation. I was going to say it like right when you said it, and then I didn't want to interrupt and be rude.
So I went to my partner, Marshall, and I said, hey, they want to give us a radio station. And he said,
you serious?
And here we are.
I think what you've done with this and most of the ventures that you guys do, you're never lending your likeness or your name or whatever. If you're involved with it, you're committed. You're involved.
Yeah, but we don't get involved in that much stuff for that reason, because when we do, we go full in and give it everything we have. So you can't do that with everything, and everything doesn't make sense to do that with. So this was an opportunity to do that and create a further platform, not just for our artists, but the goal was, okay, yeah, you're going to hear more Eminem music on Shade 45. Of course, it's his radio station. You're going to hear more Shady artists on Shade 45 because it's our radio station. But
it was an excuse to just play our shit all day.
No, it really beyond that. It went beyond that because we talked about this.
Let's get the brass taxes.
We did.
We said we get to have a radio station. Like, we got to play all the stuff that we always want to hear that other people don't play.
Yep.
So that was the other goal. So there's sort of three aspects of it. There's the Eminem music, there's the Shady stuff, and then there's what would a radio station sound like if we could create,
if we got a hold of it,
in our own image and hear what we want to hear that wasn't on the radio at that time. And we've stuck to that.
Quite successfully, I might add. I want to take you as a treat, both to you and to the listeners. I have a little, we went into the archives and we've dug up a whole bunch of stuff. And what I'm going to play you very quickly here is...
I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't like where this is going.
It's a freestyle, a portion of a freestyle from your first appearance here on Shade 45 with Proof, rest in peace, and Green Lantern.
And make the worst verse at verse when I dis.
Shady XV. I want to move up, kind of into the more present Shady records with Yellow Wolf, and I'm gonna play Yellow Wolf. Let's Roll featuring Kid Rock, and we will be back on the Shady Records Roundtable Special.
Shady 15 Roundtable Special, featuring Eminem and Paul Rosenberg.
Hey yo, this is Slim Shady.
Shade 45 is my radio station. Shade 45 is the way to go. Shade 45 is our radio station. Shade 45 cause I said so.
Man, when do you record all
The
of this
greatest shit is not remembering. The greatest shit is not remembering.
That one wasn't that old.
No, but I'm
that one
saying, like, I'm listening to the radio sometimes. I'll listen to Shade 45. When
That's
I'm in
the
the car,
first
I'm like,
one-
when did you do all this shit?
That's the first one I remember. That's the first one I remember.
And we were just listening to Yellow Wolf, Let's Roll featuring Kid Rock.
Yes.
And let's talk about Yellow Wolf. And, you know, he represents the new wave of artists on Shady Records. And kind of, you know, both of your guys' thought process on what made you feel like this guy fits for us.
So I can't remember exactly how we had heard that Wolf was available and looking for a new situation, but I think the first thing that we saw and heard was from his newer stuff was Pop the Trunk, and he had released it independently and put a video out, and that really caught our attention. And I started talking to Marshall about it, and one of Marshall's friends actually, I think, was talking to him about Yellow Wolf at the same time. So we were both, you know, finding our own path towards, you know, being interested in seeing if this would be a good fit for us.
Yeah, I think the first record was Pop the Trunk that I heard. And I don't know, I feel like Yellow Wolf there's nobody like him. There was nobody like him when I first heard him, and there's still not anybody like him. Like, he's kind of got his own lane, it feels like. And
yeah, I mean, look, we've found ourselves as a label to really primarily focus on the sort of really technical aspects of rappers, because I think that's what Marshall does and is a fan of, and that's what I've always been a fan of too. So we focus first and foremost on, you know, artists that can really, really rap, and we thought we saw that in Yellow Wolf for sure. And then his whole story is, you know, extremely interesting, and we thought would have a lot of appeal. And we had never really worked with too much stuff from the South. I mean, we had worked with Stat previously and Creek, but for one reason or another, it didn't work out. So here was another opportunity to do something from a different region that we thought would have a matching sort of aesthetic with our brand, which was, you know, an important aspect of signing any artist to our label.
You mentioned something very important, which kind of relates to our next topic, the technical aspects of, you know, the art of emceeing.
wait,
and
Jim Johnson, actually, that was you were talking about, a friend told me about.
Yeah, well, I had given the music to your buddy that doesn't work in the music industry.
Okay.
And he was talking to you about him. And then Jim came in the studio. You were working on stuff for Recovery, right? With Jim.
Yeah. So Jim Johnson showed me the Yellow Wolf video, and that was the first time I got to see an image too. You know, like you get to see a visual with the song. You know, it's also with Wolf. It's also, you know, lyrical content, and can somebody go? Like, can they? You know, that's to me, that's like Paul was saying, that's what we always focus on first. It's like, can somebody really, can they spit? And I don't even know if you can say spit anymore, but whatever, I say it. Man. You know, that's absolutely, to me, the most important thing, you know, to Paul too, is like, you know, and then we kind of, it's exciting to work with when you find somebody who's unique. They can rap, they've got content, they're about something, you know, and then it's, okay, now what can we do to try to help this, you know?
Right. Now, you mentioned, you know, MCs that really can rap, the technical aspects of the, you know, the art. And I think you can't go any further without mentioning Slaughterhouse, for guys that can really rap and that are indicative of the art of MCing. And, you know, they are featured on the Shady 15 project.
Yeah.
From the song Hammer Dance from the Welcome to Our House on Shady Records. And I think it speaks for itself in terms of their abilities as individuals and a group coming together like Voltron kind of.
Yeah, it's Slaughterhouse is it's a unique situation because it's it's 4 top tier MCs to me that they're like fucking top notch. You know, they're incredibly strong soloists. You know,
that can stand on their own.
That can stand on their own anywhere. So, I mean, with anybody. So it's like them being really they're solo artists. So them to come together and form a group, it's like, to me, it's like a fucking super group, because it's like you've got four of some of the best rappers in the world, to me, coming together as one group. I mean, I don't know. That's a pretty fucking strong group, you know?
Totally. So let's go into Hammer Dance here on the Shady Records Roundtable Special here on Shade 45.
Teen Roundtable Special featuring Eminem and Paul Rosenberg.
Happy 10-year anniversary, Shade 45.
Happy birthday to all of us except who, kid? Yeah!
Oh, man.
Yo, I didn't even know that was me at first.
So we are.
It's been 10 years, like, so quick, right?
Well, yeah, 10 years it seems very quick, but we'd known you prior to that, right? So probably 13 years we've known you now.
Yeah, who kid's been stealing my music for
well,
well over a decade.
But 15 years. With the way hip hop is now, you guys always been like #1 with being lyrical. It's kind of risky.
You mean in terms of what we were focused on?
Yeah, no, to take the risk of always being lyrical, but not.
We try to be lyrical, miracle, spiritual individuals.
Hey.
Yeah, but think about it, right? I mean, I don't, Marshall, you don't have to say any of this because this is how I feel, but I still think that the most popular rappers are the rappers who are the best rappers.
Okay.
So that's never changed.
So the one-hit wonders or the guys that survived from one hits and they're just like still lingering.
I mean, some of them can rap, but you look at a guy like Jay-Z, right? A lot of people argue he's the best rapper of all time. You look at a guy like Eminem. Some people argue he's the best rapper of all time. You got guys like Drake. You got guys like Kendrick. You got guys like Lil Wayne. All those dudes can rap really fucking well. So I think our focus was always on point.
Enough said.
Absolutely.
It's hard to get into your label, huh? There's a lot of whack rappers out there.
Well, you know what it is? It's not that it's hard to get into our label. We've always wanted to be boutique. We never wanted to be a big label.
Yeah.
And it more so to the point of it is both Marshall and myself are so hands-on with our projects that we don't have time to do that many of them. So the cycle usually works like this. M will do one of his records, and then he'll take a couple of years and work on stuff on the label and go back to one of his own records. So those couple of years, we got to be able to get everything done. And the last time we did it, we put out Yellow Wolf, Slaughterhouse, and Bad Meets Evil. So this time we're putting out the Shady 15 project. We got the Yellow Wolf album coming out early next year, followed by a Slaughterhouse album. So the cycle's there, but we don't want to take on more than we can really, put our fingerprints on and make the best we think we can do.
Well, yeah, because Paul already makes my life miserable enough. So then it's like, if we sign something else after we haven't done what we need to do with the other two groups that we have right now.
There's backup, and then stuff might not come out, and then nobody's happy.
Because in my side, I've always looked into you guys as a fan, but then I've learned the business aspect of understanding the value of like holding it in and keeping because, a good friend of yours, Kendrick Lamar, kind of he said he's not coming out until his shit is official.
Right.
So he said he learned by
We all learned that from Dre, though, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
Because Dre, more so than anybody, time doesn't exist for Dr. Dre. And when I say that, I mean, you got to put your album out, from the fourth quarter so you can get Christmas sales. He doesn't care. You got to put your album out this time because such and such is going to happen and the world's going to catch fire. He doesn't care about anything except making sure the music's right.
Okay.
So we learned that from him. Nothing else matters because you put the shit out because of some external pressure and it's not ready, you ain't going to have another shot to put it out. So you got to make sure everything's right. That's the most important thing. What we've learned to do, though, is we've learned to say, okay, we need to give ourselves a lot of time because we know how long it's going to take. So one of the things we really pride ourselves on is we don't really move our release dates much. We have in the past, but not much. Like when we say something's coming out, it's coming out. We do whatever the hell we need to do to get that record out.
You've ever got stressed by him? Like he wants to come out, but you're telling
me? No, never.
You're telling him, no, I don't
never.
No.
Well, speaking of...
He's telling the truth.
Speaking of the material and release dates and so forth, November 24th is Shady 15 in stores, and it features new music, obviously, from Eminem. And I don't think we should go any further. without getting into
what else is there though? There's Eminem records. There's Bad Meets Evil. There's Slaughterhouse. There's D12. The first D12 song in a very long time. How many years has it been, Denon?
Wow.
Shit. 7?
7 years. First D12 song in 7 years, and it's a banger.
Damn.
And you know, Slaughterhouse and Yellow Wolf, and you know, we got a record with Skylar, who's an unofficial sort of Shady family member.
It's like a little sister.
Yeah, so we got everybody on the album is closely affiliated or from Detroit. So
oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. So let's get into Guts Over Fear. Let's equalize it.
See ya.
Roundtable Special featuring Eminem and Paul Rosenberg.
This is Ken. Touch my body. Touch my body. Touch my body. Touch my body. Little boy, little boy, little boy. Little boy, little boy, little boy. That's my crazy.
You listening to Shade 45, you understand me?
That was an actual promo on our radio station?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
I like that.
What the?
Yo, you know what's funny? Yo, when like how many years ago was that? Like 5 years, 6 years ago?
That?
When I did, I don't know when that was.
That's about 9 years
there
ago.
was a bunch of them though.
Yeah.
That I did. Where are those at?
We got all of it.
We got all of it. I wanted to kind of, you know, this is a little trip through memory lane of
what is it? Memory lane.
Memory lane.
Mentally lane.
As we move on, we are celebrating 15 years of Shady Records and the release of the Shady 15 project in stores November 24th, as well as 10 years of Shade 45.
And the release.
I am here with Marshall and Paul.
Yes.
Two swell guys. And
I want to clarify something.
Yes.
It's a double disc if we're talking about the physical CD.
Verify and clarify.
Speak on it.
Speak on it.
Okay. It's what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
I
was trying to give you an official.
Thank
like,
you. Yeah, no, that's good. Thanks. So it's a double disc. One disc is of all new music, of all the current artists on the label, plus some friends and family.
Gotta wave it off.
And then the second disc is the Shady sort of greatest hits and some of the I think some of the biggest records that we had put out. And we didn't have room for all of them, and we wanted to do 15 songs on the greatest hits. And I want to also point out one other thing. This is the 15th album that we're releasing on the label, coincidentally. 15th album, 15 years. It's a lot of music.
Wow.
For, a couple of dudes from Detroit to put out.
It's a lot to be proud of.
Know what I mean?
Yep.
So I want to talk about a record and play a record that kind of made my face screw up upon first hearing it. It's those Slaughterhouse guys again. And this time they're with the man, the legend, DJ Premier.
Yes.
And the song is entitled Y'all Already Know.
Crazy.
And
Y'all already know.
Y'all already know, excuse me. And man, oh man.
Man, oh man.
This record reminds me of like the reasons that we wanted to sign Slaughterhouse in the first place.
Yeah.
It's just like a straight, hard rap beat that is just pure and created for nothing other than dudes to rap really well on. And it just feels good to listen to, and we love it.
Well, without further ado, y'all already know. Woo! Slaughterhouse!
Yeah.
Yo. Shady 15 Roundtable Special.
Hey, yo, it's the new Rocky theme. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. The vomit on his sweater already. Rising up, back on the street. Yeah. Took my time, took my chances. It's the eye of the tiger in the music the moment you own it. Shade 45, bitch.
Woo!
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Shady Records Roundtable Special. What do you think of that one?
I don't know. Where was I when all this was happening? What the fuck?
We have our ways.
I don't remember that particularly, but I'm funny.
You are.
At least, hold on. At least I was. I was funny.
I think you still have a lot left.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, dog.
Here on the Shady Records Roundtable Special, I'm here with Marshall and Paul. We are talking all things Shady, 15 years in the game.
Let's listen to another new one, though.
Yeah.
Okay, this song is called Twisted. It is myself, Skylar Grey, and Yellow Wolf.
Yeller!
Who produced it?
I did.
Yeah.
All right.
Woo! Myself did.
Myself.
Hi,
did.
myself. I heard he's really dope. He's good. He's great on the beats.
Here it is,
Know what I mean?
Twisted. Only on Shade 45.
Rosenburg.
This is Slim Shady.
Shade 45, Shade 45,
This is my station. This is my station.
Shade 45, Shade 45.
I love satellite radio. I love satellite radio.
I like that.
Turn your radio up.
Hey,
That was for the clubs.
EDM right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yo,
perfect for what you're playing these days.
Yeah.
that is the full version. The full version is actually on the greatest hits on Shady 15.
Yeah.
And we're back. And we are talking Shady 15 on the Shady Records Roundtable special here on Shade 45. I am with Marshall Mathers, a.k.a. Eminem.
Back,
So, Eminem, where do you find your inspiration?
back, 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 and back, back.
What if that's how all interviews turned out?
There was a time when all interviews did turn out like that, my friend.
And man, was it fun. Fun times, man. That was fun.
If there's one thing that I personally admire about you both is, you've always... Stupid. I'm being serious here for a moment.
I'm sorry.
You have always given it up for your hometown. There is Detroit. It's right there, tattooed on the shoulder. Like there is no doubt where you're from, what it's all about, the pride in, your hometown and your upbringings.
Absolutely, man.
And it brings us to the last song here that we're going to talk about, which is it's quite a lineup here on the Shady 15 project. It's new material and just there's a great story behind it in terms of the making of the record, but I just want to read the lineup real quick. The song is entitled Detroit versus Everybody, featuring Eminem, Royce the 5'9", Big Sean,
Damn.
Danny Brown,
Damn.
and a newcomer, Dej Loaf.
Damn.
Dej Loaf, and let's not forget Trick Trick.
And Trick Trick, of course.
Better not.
And produced by Shade 45's own Static Selector.
Yep.
And myself.
And Marshall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this real quick.
Let's talk about it, man.
Let's talk about it.
So what had happened was Royce and I were talking about the idea of making this record with
Yo, verify and clarify.
Yeah. Royce and I were talking about the idea of making this record. Of course, it was inspired by the brand that Tommy Walker and his team started in Detroit called Detroit versus Everybody. We've been doing collaborations with them for the past couple of years with Shady, doing the Shady versus Everybody stuff. And they're really good guys, and the brand has grown. And we just had this idea to possibly make this Detroit versus Everybody record. So obviously we wanted to present the idea to Marshall, but before we did, I think we wanted to find a track. So, one day I was listening to our station, and this happens a lot, actually. It's really strange. I'll hear stuff on our station that I didn't know about, and, something will come out of it. So in this case, it was during Static Selector's show, and he was playing the sample that we ended up using for the song. And I heard the original, and he was playing it because it said static in it, the word static. And so he was playing it as part of his show. And so I hit him. I was like, yo, did you ever make a beat out of that sample? Like, if you didn't, you should, and you should send it to me. And he was like, I got one that I've been working on. I'm gonna send it to you. So he sent it to me, and I was like, man, this might be, perfect for this idea. So I sent it to Royce, and next thing I know, he's like, I got a verse on it, and I'm gonna get Dej Loaf to come in and do something on it too. So that was the sort of foundation of the record.
Oh, wow.
And, the caliber of the Detroit MC. Let's talk about that for a sec, because there's really a lot to be said about it.
Yeah, I mean, M's not going to say it, but I'll say it. I think that when you hear that a rapper's from Detroit, there's certain things that are going to come along with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they're going to be able to rap. That's going to be that it's going to be hardcore. You know that they're going to be able to rap, and you know that it's not going to be on some bullshit. That, for me, whenever I hear somebody from Detroit, those things I know are automatic, right? So, there's this breed of MC that I think came out of the city, and it comes from the same sort of, pride that you were talking about earlier that we have in the city. People rep it so hard. And it's because I think it was overlooked for so long. It's in terms of hip hop, the city was overlooked for a very long time because not that many things had broken out of there. So people really, really tried to rap extremely well for a very long time to get attention, a la the guy sitting next to me, right? So I think that is where a lot of the core of these guys that are, you know, even still coming up now comes from. It was like this quest to, you know, get recognized, and it forced people to become really good MCs.
It feels like it's always felt like, it kind of still feels like, in regards to what Paul is talking about, it feels like we've always been the underdog.
Yeah,
you know,
and the city remains an underdog status for obvious reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, given that mentality, I think that it inspired and inspires people still to this day to try to, you know, rappers, you know, to try to rap as well as they can.
Yeah, and prove people wrong. I mean, that's what the underdog does, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Shady has championed the underdog.
Shady is the underdog.
Yeah. You know, 50 Cent was an outlaw, was a blacklisted underdog that nobody ever gave a chance in hell to shine. And I think you could say the same for Obi in a way, you know, on down the line. And, it represents kind of your commitment to championing those.
Underdogism.
Yeah, so this song is, you know, just obviously, you know, some of the artists that we really like, and you know, just a way to sort of bring that whole mentality that we were talking about and describing into a record.
No, does it feel good that, you know, you guys always been the entity of Detroit, but now there's other elements?
Yes.
It's like a movement now. Where
very good.
Atlanta, Philly, Florida, New York always had multiple artists, multiple movements, but finally you guys have other elements where it brings Detroit like a little energy now. Like you guys are doing that shit.
It's about motherfucking time.
Yeah, I mean, and to that point, I've said this before, but there was a time where, you know, there was other artists in Detroit that were trying to do, you know, some of the things that we had done, or you know, wanted to get their own stories. And somebody said to us, you know, a few people said to us, like, man, it's tough for us to get on out there because people look at us like, well, if Shady ain't fucking with you, then you're probably, you know, not that good. And we never wanted that. Like that's not what we set out to do. So for us to see people making their own way, doing their own stories, I think is a great thing. And so you see, you know, a guy like Big Sean, and you see somebody like Danny Brown, you see Dej Loaf, you know, all doing their own things their way. It's great.
It must be mind-boggling too, because they've all kind of like wished that they've done a record with M. And I mean, I've interviewed all of them.
I'm not gonna say that, but
I've interviewed all of them, and they've all mentioned it in every interview.
Well, here's the record.
Tell them if they want it, they can come and get that. I swear I love my city, I just...
And Paul Rosenberg.
Queef. On Shade 45. Now that might be my favorite one.
That was a good one.
That was... Thank God for satellite radio, man. Because genius things like that would never be able to be heard on a radio station.
Nationwide.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
And it's something to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. It feels, it's bringing a tear to my eye right now.
Just one word, queef, can just do all that.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's fucked up.
Those are tears of joy, my friend.
That your name rhymes with
Don't
that.
get it twisted. This is not some soft shit.
Yo, you might have been the inspiration for Queef.
Tears of joy.
I think
because I might have been thinking of your name and trying to think of things to rhyme with it.
Queef the streets.
And that, my friends.
Yeah. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Reef? Oh, this is good, clean fun for the whole family.
Absolutely.
And hey, congrats to you, my friend, Reef, for being with us here since the beginning.
I really
10
appreciate
years
it.
of putting up with this bullshit.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget the meeting I had with you in your office on a Sunday at Shady Records when you said to me, "Come down. We need to talk about something." I'm like, okay, And
he said, "Let's talk about talking."
No, the first thing you said was, "We have a radio station." I'm like, "What?" What are you talking about?
Yeah. And boy, was I right.
Oh, yeah.
10 years later.
We are here.
We're here.
Yeah, and I just want to apologize to everyone out there
For
this.
For the 10 years of radio?
for all of it.
And the 15 years of...
For this whole radio station thing, torturing people.
Well, all right.
Hey, here's to another 10.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Shady 15.
And here's to another 10.
Shady 15 in stores November 24th. And to another 15, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
This has been the Shady 15 Roundtable Special. This program is available on SiriusXM On Demand and the SiriusXM app. Thanks for listening.